In the late 80s, BMW didn't just want to build another luxury coupe, they wanted to redefine the Grand Tourer, not with nostalgia, not with modesty, but with pure, unapologetic ambition. The dream that almost wasn't. Enter the BMW 8 Series, internally coded E31, a machine that promised space-age tech, V12 power, and the elegance of a yacht on wheels. It was the kind of car engineers dream about, and accountants dread. When it was first unveiled in 1989, the 8 Series was a revelation. Sleek, low-slung, and devoid of BMW's traditional upright kidney grills, the E31 looked like it came from the future.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
And in many ways, it did. But this wasn't just a car.
Anything that you'd like to say, Mr.
Yes, Your Honor. Should I stand?
It was a statement, a message to Mercedes, Porsche, even Ferrari. We can play your game, and we can play it better. What followed was a story of innovation, ambition, and ultimately heartbreak. Because while the 8 Series was born to be the best, the world around it changed too fast. The car didn't fail, it just arrived in the wrong era. This is the story of BMW's misunderstood masterpiece, a car too bold for its time, and maybe even too bold for BMW. Genesis of a super coupe. In the mid-1980s, BMW was riding high. The 3 Series was booming. The 5 and 7 Series had solidified the brand's reputation for executive performance.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
But something was missing, something emotional, aspirational, the kind of flagship that didn't just whisper success, it screamed it. BMW's answer: build a Grand Tourer that could go head-to-head with the Mercedes SEC and even rival exotic brands. But they weren't interested in a warmed-over 6 Series. No, they wanted something radically different, a clean sheet design. And so, development of the E31 began. Unlike its predecessor, the 6 Series, the 8 Series wouldn't be based on an existing platform. Instead, BMW created a new architecture from scratch, wider, lower, and stiffer. With one goal in mind: speed, comfort, and presence, all rolled into one. Engineers poured everything they had into it. CAD-assisted aerodynamics, a drag coefficient of just 0.29, unheard of at the time for a luxury coupe, a revolutionary new multi-link rear suspension, drive-by-wire throttle, electronic everything, and at the heart of it, a V12 engine, the mighty M70, 5 liters of smooth, naturally aspirated confidence. With 300 horsepower and 450 newton-meters of torque, it wasn't about raw aggression. It was about effortlessness, power you didn't need to shout about. But this wasn't just about numbers, it was about feel.
The overall feel of it does feel very high quality. Let me just quickly look at the headlights.
The long hood, the pillarless windows, the way the cockpit wrapped around the driver. BMW didn't just want you to drive it, they wanted you to pilot it. This was an era where analog dreams met digital ambition, and the E31 was the intersection. But perfection came at a cost, literally. From day one, the 8 Series was expensive. Too expensive for many BMW loyalists, and with its tech-laden complexity, it wasn't exactly easy to maintain either. Still, none of that mattered in 1989 when the 850i launched. It was the flagship, the king, the future, or so they thought. Style meets substance. The moment you laid eyes on the 8 Series, it didn't just look different, it felt different. This wasn't a car that evolved from the past. It looked like it had landed from the future. Gone were BMW's trademark upright grills and square proportions. In their place, a sleek, wedge-shaped silhouette with hidden pop-up headlights, a low-slung front, a gracefully tapered rear. Every surface was sculpted, every line intentional. The 8 Series wasn't just beautiful, it was serious. It sat low to the ground, wider than any BMW before it. That alone changed the proportions. But it wasn't just about aesthetics, it was about performance. The low drag coefficient wasn't just for bragging rights. It made the car quieter at high speeds, more stable, and more fuel efficient. Inside, the cabin was a temple of luxury and forward-thinking design. Deeply bolstered leather seats, a high center console, and a dashboard that angled everything toward the driver. This was the era of the ultimate driving machine, and BMW made sure the cockpit reminded you of that with every glance and touch. Digital displays, memory seats, dual-zone climate control, a CD changer, all high-tech stuff for the late 80s, and the optional telephone and fax machine, pure excess, pure statement. Even the steering wheel was thick and heavy, reminding you that this wasn't a car for the timid. It was a driver's car, wrapped in a luxury suit. And then, of course, the numbers. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 7 seconds. Not mind-blowing by today's standards, but in 1989, for a car this heavy, this smooth, and this refined, it was a revelation. It wasn't raw like a Porsche. It wasn't floaty like a Mercedes. It was something in between. A grand tourer that truly earned the name. But here's where the contradiction begins. For all its speed and beauty, the 8 Series wasn't a car people raced. It wasn't tossed around back roads or gunned down track straights. It was too heavy, too complex, too precious. And that was both its genius and its curse. Rising tensions, falling sales. The BMW 8 Series launched into a world that should have embraced it. The late 80s and early 90s were a playground for excess. Wall Street was booming, luxury was in, and the idea of a V12-powered BMW seemed like a no-brainer. But things changed, fast.
The country's economy continues to slump with no early end to the recession in sight.
The early 90s brought a global recession. Oil prices surged. Environmental concerns took center stage. Suddenly, a thirsty 12-cylinder coupe didn't seem so appealing. And there was something else, something deeper.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
The market wasn't sure what the 8 Series was supposed to be. Was it a super GT to rival the Mercedes SL? Was it a tech showcase, a flagship halo car? It wasn't faster than a Porsche, it wasn't more comfortable than a Mercedes, and it wasn't as usable as a regular 5 or 7 Series. It was niche, complicated, expensive. And then there was the price. The 850 I started at over 70,000 Deutsche Marks, a small fortune at the time. Fully loaded, it could creep into 6 figures. BMW had sunk over $1 billion into developing the E31. It had designed an all-new V12 engine, created a brand-new multi-link rear suspension. It even developed the first-ever production car with a drive-by-wire throttle and electronic stability control. But despite all that, or maybe because of it, the sales just didn't come. BMW had aimed to sell 100,000 units globally. In the end, they sold around 30,000 over a decade. It wasn't a failure, but it wasn't a hit. And internally, the company started to wonder, had they gone too far? The 8 Series was a technological marvel, but in chasing perfection, BMW had created something that was almost too refined, too isolated. And as the mid-90s approached,
If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give.
that became clearer than ever. Engineering dreams and nightmares. At the core of the BMW 8 Series was engineering ambition that pushed boundaries. The E31 wasn't just another coupe, it was a laboratory on wheels. BMW wanted to showcase what was possible with modern technology, and the engineers delivered, starting with the engine, the legendary M70 V12. It was BMW's first production V12 since the 1950s, a 5.0-liter beast producing 296 horsepower, smooth, powerful, and refined, it was the heart of the 850e. But that was only the beginning. BMW engineers developed a new chassis with a multi-link rear suspension designed for ultimate handling balance. The frame was a welded steel unibody, but with aluminum components to save weight, a novel approach at the time. And the electronics, the E31 was the first production car to feature drive-by-wire throttle control, which replaced the traditional mechanical linkage with electronic sensors. It was revolutionary, but also prone to teething problems. Another first was the standard electronic stability control system called ASC, Automatic Stability Control, which helped keep the car stable in tricky conditions. But all this tech came with challenges.
What's the matter, Pop? I'm confused.
The complexity of the electronics made maintenance a headache for many owners. Parts were expensive and sometimes difficult to source. The advanced features, while impressive, meant the car demanded respect, both in driving and upkeep. The E31's design also reflected its engineering ambition. Its long, low silhouette and pop-up headlights weren't just styling choices, they were aerodynamic necessities. BMW achieved a drag coefficient of just 0.29, remarkable for a car of its size. Inside, the cockpit was driver-focused, with controls angled toward the driver and a luxurious interior crafted with the finest materials. But while the E31 was packed with cutting-edge tech and luxury, the complexity sometimes felt at odds with the car's soul. It was a GT, but one that required a careful touch, both on the road and in the garage. This duality was part of what made the 8 Series so fascinating. A car that balanced engineering dreams with the harsh realities of the market. The legacy left behind. The BMW 8 Series E31's production ended in 1999, but its impact resonates even today. Although it never achieved blockbuster sales, the E31 carved out a special place in automotive history. It was a bold experiment, blending cutting-edge technology, luxury, and performance in a way few others dared. The lessons learned from the E31 shaped BMW's future. The car's advanced electronics paved the way for the more refined systems seen in later BMWs. Its V12 engine set a benchmark for smoothness and power that would influence BMW's flagship models for years. The 8 Series also proved that BMW could build a grand tourer capable of mixing comfort with speed.
We got a problem.
While the E31's complexity sometimes worked against it, enthusiasts have come to appreciate this car as a symbol of engineering ambition and passion. Collectors prize well-maintained examples, and the E31's rarity only adds to its allure. More than just a car, the 8 Series E31 embodies a moment when BMW reached for the stars, crafting a machine that was ahead of its time, both in design and technology. Its legacy lives on in modern BMW coupes and grand tourers, inspiring a commitment to innovation and driving pleasure. In many ways, the E31 remains a dream on wheels, a reminder that sometimes pushing the limits is worth the risks. The BMW 8 Series E31 was more than just a luxury grand tourer. It was a bold statement. Born from the ambition to combine cutting-edge technology with timeless design and exhilarating performance, the E31 pushed the boundaries of what a sports coupe could be in the 1990s. Its innovative features and daring engineering choices made it stand apart, even if they sometimes made it a challenge to own. Today, the E31 stands as a testament to BMW's willingness to innovate and dream big. Though it never reached mass-market success, its influence is undeniable, from shaping future BMW technologies to inspiring car enthusiasts worldwide. As you reflect on the story of the 8 Series E31, you see not just a car, but a symbol of passion, precision, and the pursuit of automotive excellence. It reminds us that true innovation requires risk, and that the legacy of a car is measured not only by sales numbers, but by the impact it leaves behind. The BMW 8 Series E31 remains an icon, a masterpiece of engineering and design, cherished by those who recognize it as a visionary in its time. If you're as captivated by the BMW 8 Series as we are, don't just admire from afar. Smash that like button. Subscribe now to dive deeper into the boldest moments in automotive history. Drop a comment on what car you think deserved a second chance, and join the movement of enthusiasts who see beyond the sales figures.